Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Gabriel Cox and I equip first-time supervisors with necessary leadership tools. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to head on over to my website and subscribe for a free resource. The ultimate guide to identifying what type of leader you are in 5 easy steps. While you are there, you can check out my Goat Locker, which is a place where you can get free tools to help you develop as a supervisor. Welcome to episode 5. You're fired. Now what? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what happens when you get fired. I'm going a little rogue today because I kind of wanted to speak from my heart for this one because this is going to be very challenging. Last week, we talked a lot about how you can handle your team as a supervisor when someone gets fired. Today, we're going to totally flip that around. And so we're going to go over a few steps on what you can do when you get fired. And again, this is heavy. So, and I am going rogue, and I can't stress that enough. Usually I have an outline. Today I'm just kind of going with what my gut says. When you get fired, there are oftentimes you will get really upset, get really sad, kind of turn inwards. Sometimes you can get angry. Getting fired stinks. But everybody deserves a grieving period. And what that looks like to you is whatever that looks like to you. It could be dropping down into a space of fear, guilt, worry for a few days. And then you could turn around and get really mad and really upset. And that's okay. It's what you decide to do after that that matters. So take ownership and go through your grief stage. Understand that it's very normal for people to get upset, for you to get upset about this. The next thing is to say sayonara with severance. Ideally, you will have a little bit of time before you know of your termination date. And it's a good opportunity to kind of talk about how your company can help you on your way out the door. Now, given my experience, I don't know a whole lot about severance or how it works. But I know that if you can, take some time to negotiate by asking for as much as you think you are due, as well as an extension to your health benefits. If you can't voice it yourself, consider hiring an employment attorney that can help you with that. But don't think that you should leave without nothing. So ask for that severance. Next, you want to take your benefits to go. And what I mean by this is ask your former employer if they would be willing to extend your healthcare insurance under COBRA. Now again, this is not an area that I am 100% clear on. I do know that you have some time. And so don't forget about healthcare coverage and find out how your employer can help you. The next step is to say hello to your new budget. Now, I'd love to sit here and tell you that everything will be okay. But the reality is you have to create a new budget. You have to come to an understanding of what your finances are coming in and how much you're putting out. There are a lot of people out there that tell you to save 3 months of money just in case this day does happen, but most of Americans don't live this way. So let's be honest. Say hello to your new budget. Another tip that I'd like to offer is to consider finding a part-time gig. In the world we live in today, there's so many options out there for part-time work. And that could be something along the lines of Uber, TaskRabbit, Airbnb, things like that. The fact is that you need to have some sort of income to maintain your lifestyle. And if you're searching in the same field, you want to find a job that can be flexible to what you need. And a lot of these options are great. The next step is to own it. You got terminated, and that really sucks. But owning it is key. Don't ever lie to a future employer. Don't think that you can get away with not talking about it. If a future employer finds out that you lied about it, that could probably have a very negative result. And it's not worth the risk of your new employer finding out. So own it. It's very difficult to do. And honestly, looking back, I kind of wish I would have put that one first. The final step I want to talk about is having your elevator pitch. As a coach, we have this is how we interact with people every day. But having your elevator pitch down allows you the opportunity to say what you do immediately upon meeting anyone at any time. When somebody asks you what you do for a living, just tell them, I'd love to tell you. But why are you ask? Be ready to answer this question. Hey, what do you do? And once you get to talking back and forth, go into it a little bit. Have a good 20 to 30 second pitch down to say, hey, this is what I do. Here's why I do it. And I'm also really good. You don't want to go into 20-minute diatribe about what it is you do and all that other stuff. You got to capture people's attention within 8 to 10 seconds. And the best way to do that is to have your elevator pitch down. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. I went a little long today. But this subject is very difficult for a lot of folks to handle. And as always, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. If you get fired, what's your plan? And again, what level do you drop down into? Do you get angry? Do you see yourself as getting angry? Or are you going to drop into a place of fear, worry, guilt? So like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm going rogue today, which means I'm getting all kinds of crazy. Anyway, I want to issue you a challenge. And what I want to challenge you to do is maybe you know somebody who's recently been fired or removed from a position. How can you reach out to them and give them some of these tips that we've talked about today? Maybe offer them some support, some empathy, whatever it is. What can you do as their friend or family member? And finally, I also kind of want to mention the fact that I have received such a great amount of support and feedback on these podcasts. And I really want to take a second to say thank you for that. So thank you for listening to this series. Next week, I'm going to be doing a whole new part on You're Hired. And this is all about to do as a supervisor when you're onboarding a new employee. It'll be a 2-part series again, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you are a supervisor who is currently looking for leadership development, log on to my website and click the Work With Me link and fill out the application to qualify. If you know someone who may benefit from this podcast, please share it with them.